outside California, I want to go out there and enjoy the day. So my thing is quick cooking so that I can, enjoy as much of my day as possible. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to prep all my food in one quick swoop and have it all ready to go for the next few days. So join me. Here I have kind of prepped everything just a little bit. I have all the vegetables that we got yesterday. I have my zucchinis, my asparagus, and my bell peppers. These are my favorite vegetables to cook in the kitchen. Zucchinis have tons of vitamins and minerals, lots of enzymes. They're really filling, and so they're really bulky, nutrient-dense foods. Asparagus are awesome because they're actually natural diuretic. They have tons of antioxidants. They're super filling, super low in calories. So a whole cup of asparagus actually just yields 25 calories. So asparagus is just one of the most amazing superfoods that you can possibly have. Bell peppers and onions, pretty much a staple in my diet. Bell peppers have flavonoids that actually really help with your anti-inflammatory. You get lots of inflammation from outside things, and so I like to have lots of bell peppers in my diet. So I'll show you how I prep these things. I like to bake things. I like to cook things on the pots. So let me show you how I do it. First of all, we are going to bake our sweet potatoes on the pan. Aluminum foil, because I don't like to wash things. And when I put aluminum foil down, it helps keep me from having to wash it. I basically just take the aluminum foil off and I throw the pan back in the cabinet. When I bake it on 400 degrees. So we're gonna bake it, preheat the oven. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and wash the sweet potatoes. Get them organic without pesticides, but you still want to wash it. You don't need to be handling it. You don't know where it's been. Look at that one, has a little tree going on it. That's gonna go. Okay. Put those on the pan. I like to bake my sweet potatoes until they're just like totally caramelized and oozing. Baking is the best way to cook your sweet potatoes because the baking process will break down the starches in the potatoes, which helps you digest it just a little bit better. That is why I like to make sure it has some air with sweet potatoes, because that way I can throw them in the oven, they're cooked, they're baking while I'm finishing cooking everything else, and that just really cuts down on my meal prep time. So we're gonna let these bad boys bake while we finish cooking everything else. I'm gonna actually adjust. More things in there. Okay, so in terms of my veggies, my favorite way, actually, I'm coating my pan with olive oil spray. It just keeps everything from sticking. And my favorite way to actually cook my veggies is to bake them. I love the perfect consistency that you get when you bake your veggies. So that's just gonna go right in there. I've tried seasoning asparagus with so many different crazy things, and one thing I've learned about asparagus is it's so naturally awesome that it tastes best when you do nothing to it at all. If anything, I might dip it in mustard later, but I mean, if you put too many seasonings on some of these things, you're gonna end up potentially not liking what you put on it, and you definitely don't want that. So we're gonna get a nice big one. We're gonna throw these on. A lot of seasonings I like to throw on after I cook it anyways. natural flavor. These are already nice and cut. I'm gonna cook some of those. I'm gonna bake. Again, remember this is a quick prep. Let's see what we have. We're gonna throw the tandoori seasoning onto our veggies here. A little dabble do ya. Ooh, that smells so good. So simple and easy. I throw that in there too. That's probably gonna take about 15 minutes. Okay, so while that is cooking, we're gonna get ready here for the salmon first. You notice how I have pans and I have lids, okay? I love cooking my fish with a lid on because it really retains a lot of the juices. Always put with some spray. We're gonna fire that up. I love this big pan with grooves to cook my tilapia. Or, in this case, I got cod because it looked so dang good. I was just jonesing for some cod. Cod and tilapia are probably my two favorite things to cook. We're gonna cut that a little bit. It's a little bit on the big side. Man, he said no bones. Did you guys see that yesterday when I got this? I asked if it had bones, man. He lied. I'm gonna have to get those out later. Ah. He doesn't know. He probably doesn't even eat fish. They should have fish connoisseurs giving out fish at the market. You shouldn't have people who don't eat fish selling fish. No. Just kidding. So we have our fish. And I'm actually not even gonna flip that over. I'm gonna keep that just like that. Because I not only want it to be as easy as possible, but I want it to be as delicious as possible, of course. We're gonna throw on my absolute favorite seasoning for fish. Some of you guys were asking me about, what that seasoning was because you didn't hear what I said. It's sumac. This is a seasoning that I found at Whole Foods. I thought that only specialty stores had it, but they don't. I found this at Whole Foods, and you can probably find it at just about any market. It has a sweet and a salty taste to it. It especially tastes good after the fish is cooked, and you just sprinkle it on top, but I actually like to sprinkle it on top before I cook it, too. So we've got that. So while we've got that cooking, leave a little bit of a hole so that it kind of keeps its juices in there. I'm going to take down the flame to about medium-low temp and just let that all sit there. I didn't have a rhyme or reason in how I cut the fish and put it on the pan. I'm going to weigh it after I cook it. I usually do about 4-ounce servings, but I didn't get strategic. I just want it all in the pan for now. So that's ready to go. It's probably going to take about 10 minutes to cook all the way through. Now we have our salmon with the skin still on. Gonna lay that right in the pan. Lay that right there. Let the juices just fill the salmon right up. Put that on low. Put that on low. Put that lid right on top. Make sure there's a little bit of a hole so I can steam through. That's not going to take long at all. That's probably going to take about 2 minutes also. Alright, so now, while that's cooking, we've got our grass-fed beef right here. Okay? And with the grass-fed beef, I like to form them into meatballs. Again, I'm going to weigh these later, but kind of eyeball about 4-ounce servings for now, and then I'll just shave it off later. But I'm not adding anything to it just yet. I'm gonna add the seasonings when I put it into the pan. So form those meatballs. People think meatballs need to have breadcrumbs and all that other stuff, but you would be so surprised. The natural juices of the meat, it actually makes the meatball just nice and hearty, nice and juicy, nice and hearty. You don't feel like you're getting any of that extra stuff. That's gonna be a tiny one. This is gonna be my taster one. This is the one I'm gonna eat just to make sure they taste all right. And for this, what I'm gonna try to use is some basil. Let's bust out the basil. Basil in the house? Why don't I sound cool when I say that? I think that there's like a cool factor that some people have and some people don't. And maybe people think I'm cool, but I don't think I have that. I'm gonna take some basil. Get the nice Italian juices flowing in my kitchen and make me really feel authentic. Notice I didn't put any seasoning on the salmon yet. This particular thing tastes the best when you put the sumac after it's already cooked. That's when it absolutely tastes the best. So I like the natural juices to just kind of fill it with its natural flavoring. So if you take a look at the way my fish looks right now, it's almost done, but you can kind of see the salmon sweating the juices and they're just kind of all retained in the fish. And you can kind of see my cod puffing up because all the juices are just staying inside of the fish. So, so good. Now let's get the meatballs prepped. So I'm going to take a bigger pan. I'm going to transfer these into the bigger pan right here. Little guy. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Put that on the back burner. Put that on the back burner. Okay, wait, that's not that button. And we're gonna lower the heat. Same idea. You guys are gonna notice a trend with the way that I cook my food. We're gonna just cover that and let the juices fill in the meatballs. The meatballs are actually gonna turn over a few times. Whereas the fish, I just like let it just sit there. I mean, let's actually check the cod. It looks like it may be ready to have a little taste. So I don't go for perfect timing when it comes to fish. I wait for it to be nice and fluffy and flaky. So this took about 7 minutes. And it's perfect. You just want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. I didn't even touch it. I just put it on the pan, covered it, and it's flaky, it's perfect, and it's good to go. I mean, that right there, it does not get more perfect than that. I'm going to show that to you in a second. My meatballs are in the back burner. I'm going to check my veggies. A couple things with the veggies. So the bell peppers and the zucchini looks like it's still kind of going, whereas the asparagus, there you have perfectly cooked asparagus. Just nice and moist and juicy. So incredibly perfect. I'm going to set that down right there. Steaming. I mean, it's so naturally perfect. You don't even don't do anything to your asparagus. It's so good. We're going to keep that in there. Got that finished up. Sweet potatoes have a little ways to go. A lot of you guys are probably gonna ask me questions like, you know, what temperature, how long, like, you know, the specific questions. I'm a very intuitive cook. You know, I've been cooking these types of things for so long. It's not really about like perfect times or temperatures or whatever. I go based on how I like it to be cooked. Like for example, you know, when I'm cooking my meat, I like to have it cooked medium. So pink throughout with just a touch of red in the center. You know, I flip it over, you know, until it's brown on the outsides, you know, pink all the way through. That's pretty much how I cook my meatballs. The cod, you know, temperatures, everything like that, like I said before, it's all about just making sure it's nice and flaky and cooked all the way through. It's cooling down right now, and it looks like our salmon might actually be done. So we're gonna check that. Let's go ahead and check our salmon. So let's see what it looks like. That is actually looks like it's perfectly cooked. So if you see, it's cooked all the way through, on top of the skin. Because I covered it, it kind of sweated all the fat and juices. Oh my God, it's perfect. I don't even have any seasonings on that, and it's like absolutely perfect. Real, like whole food tastes so good. Sometimes people like overthink it, over season it. I mean, really good just all by itself. So our salmon is just about done. Just in this thick part right here, it needs just a little bit longer. So I'm gonna put that on the pan. On the pan just a little bit longer. We're gonna check the veggies while everything else is on the stove cooking. So let's see where they're at. Yum! So perfect. Here we are. We have our zucchinis and our bell peppers. Those will taste awesome with the meat. Let's take a taste test. And tandoori really sets it off. Perfect. Maybe I bring the fire wherever I go. I don't know. But it is hot in my kitchen. Let me tell you, I am cooking up a storm. Whee. We're gonna check the meatballs. These look juicy and perfect. And oh my goodness, absolute perfection. Yay. Those in my pan. Do a little taste test. Make sure they're... So these meatballs, all I did was put some basil on them, and they have that nice Italian aroma going. Oh, so good. But you don't know until you test it. Until you test it out. So we're gonna take that, and it just cuts right through. Check and see. Perfectly juicy, perfectly cooked. That's actually gonna taste really good with a little bit of mustard on top. That's gonna be really good. So far, we've got our salmon, our cod, our asparagus, our grass-fed beef, and our zucchinis and bell peppers. And I can put so many different types of combinations together between these ingredients. Make so many different types of meals and combinations. The only thing we're missing is our sweet potatoes. Let's actually check those. Now, they're not quite done yet. I want to turn them though. Turn them over. Everything's ready. I think. Yay! I see some oozing. Nice and perfect. Those are gonna be so hot, so I can't taste test them yet. But that's okay, because I don't want to enjoy things without you guys. I want you guys to enjoy it too. I can't sit here and oogle on my food too much and make you guys jealous. You guys notice the salmon doesn't have anything on it? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my sumac now. So now that it's completely cooked, we're just gonna sprinkle that on top, and that is going to bring out that awesome flavor. Sprinkle a little on top of the cooked cod. And there you have it. There is all my food. This is so awesome. Now I can go enjoy the beach. Yay! Woo!